Cool. How's everybody feeling? You ready?
As ready as ever.
It's gonna be good. Well, cool. How's everybody feeling? That? And we're up.
As ready as ever.
Yay!
We're hanging out. Awesome.
Super
Welcome
good.
everyone to the Gloomhaven Backer Kit
As ready as ever.
Yay!
launch party stream. This is great to see everybody here to the Gloomhaven Backer Kit. Look at that number jump up. It's going to be a fun hour as we share all the cool things going on here at Cephalofair Games. It's right at 10 o'clock. The day has started. I'm Ross Thompson, I'm the marketing manager here at Cephalofair Games, and I'm joined by some fantastic people, some that you know and some that you meet for the first time. We can go around the room and introduce ourselves. Isaac, you want to kick us off? Who are you at Cephalofair Games? I think everybody knows, but it's always fun.
Yeah, sure. I'm Isaac Childress, owner of Cephalofair Games and designer of Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. All those games that hopefully you like because you're here to see what we're going to be talking about next. But yeah, that's me.
It's awesome. We'll just go around the room. BJ?
BJ Hensley here. I'm the art director and creative director on the RPG for Cephalofair Games. Excited to be here and making cool games.
Awesome. Drew?
Yeah, I'm Drew Penn. I guess most people know me as Grapeway. I'm was a developer on Jaws of the Lion Frosthaven and guide writer for Gloomhaven, and yeah, did some work here as well.
Awesome. And Dennis?
Hi, my name's Dennis, or Themris on the internet. I also help work on Frosthaven, been part of the community for a long time. Drew and I have been on the subreddit forever, and did some other work that we're about to talk about.
That's great. Awesome. I'm glad everybody can join us here. And if we're sometimes quiet and getting there, we're working on the audio. We haven't done a live stream in a hot minute, so it's going to be good, but there's going to be a lot more on the way. So it's 10 o'clock. I feel like we can just kick off with why we're all gathered here today. Does that sound good, everybody? Right? Awesome. We're getting nods. We're getting yeses. That sounds good. Great. So Isaac, what is the reason for our launch party today?
So we are here to announce Gloomhaven 2nd Edition. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. So
Yay!
So yeah, after we finished Frosthaven and did all that, we thought we had elevated that Gloomhaven experience to like the next level, and we thought that it would be a good idea to go back and take the original game that was released like six and a half years ago and bring it up to that same level. And so Drew and Dennis, two the like hardcore developers on Frosthaven, we brought them in, and they took lead on just updating everything about the game. And so yeah, we'll get into all that in a minute, but yeah, that's the big announcement here, is that Gloomhaven 2.0 is coming.
That's super exciting. I mean, we're going to have plenty to share today. I think it'd be kind of fun if we can drop it on our back end. How about we show off that initial cover art? Does that sound like a good way to get that going? Let's see if that's all lined up as if we can go. We're waiting on the mysterious man behind the curtain. And while we wait on that, awesome. We'll see how that's going. So BJ, can you, as the art comes up, if you could tell us who worked on the art and what are you excited about for it?
So we have a lot of fantastic artists working in our stables. We have a lot more being added every week. I think the ones that are working most right now are Paola Andrietta, Francesca Ballard is another one, Fantorn Dat, Sarah Dallinger, Chris Lewis. They've done a lot of work to bring us some pretty amazing art. I would love to point out who did what as soon as we get some art up on the screen. I'm really excited for this cover. We've worked super hard on it, and the artist put in a lot of hours to make the thing we hoped it could be. There it is.
Look at that.
Very cool. So this is the recreation of the original art. We wanted to make sure that we were respectful of the original artist and their vision, while also punching it up and making something new and amazing and a little bit more up to date. And I think the artist, Fen Tuan-Dat, has done a fantastic job of doing exactly that.
Yeah. So thoughts, Drew, Dennis, Isaac, is kind of what some of your checking out the box top on. What do you guys think?
I wish I could make it larger in this shared thing. But yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't want to bring up the stream because then I'm going to have double audio, so I can't actually look at it very close. But yeah, I mean, from this distance, it looks awesome. I guess I just want to see a closer version of Jexera.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I
Man,
love her like little red eyes, or like glowing eyes. That's a nice touch.
I think it was important to sort of keep
but yeah, I mean, the whole thing is beautiful.
The general color palette the same, because it's the Gloomhaven we know and love. So I like that it's sort of in that same direction. So as you said,
gloomy.
kind of respecting the original.
Yeah, it's very gloomy. I like that the artist, and I actually didn't tell them to do this. We initially had other characters in the background. At the very last minute, he threw a Craighart in the background, and I was like, you know what? I like that. It can stay. That's really cool. So that was all him. I like that. I think people, once they get to see bigger versions of it and see out in the wild, they're going to be really excited to see all the Easter eggs we've put in there and the little bits and pieces and clutter that just make it a really fun piece. We've also made sure that it's a little bit more representative of the Inox, who are 8 feet tall, y'all. 8 feet tall. I would look like a toddler next to one of them. It's crazy. They're 8 feet tall. So yeah, there's a lot of fun things going on in that image, and I think we're going to love it for a really long time. So much congratulations to the artist for getting that done for us on time.
Yeah, it's send me the full image, and now I can look at it. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I thought you had it already. I just assumed everybody had sent the image off where it needed to be. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sent that.
Yeah, I mean, now I agree. Jexera's glowy eyes are amazing, Isaac.
With the flags.
Awesome.
Just I want to point out, y'all, we still have flags. Still flags.
Which is good. So along with the second bit of announcement, I think we've already seen some stuff in the chat. People are very curious. What is going to be some of the major changes we're going to see in this game, right? We've all been working pretty hard at that. So I think we can kick it off with maybe starting about some of the mechanics, if we wanted to do that, and show off some of the mechanics. Like maybe we can drop in a character art card too as we get along with that. Anybody want to kick us off? Isaac, Drew, Dennis?
Well, I think the short answer to what has changed is everything's
say Drew and Dennis talk about whatever they want to talk about in terms of mechanics.
Go for it, Dennis.
Yeah, so as I said, the short answer is everything has changed. So, if the question is, how does this class play and so forth, pretty much every ability card has at least changed a little bit. Many classes have changed pretty significantly. Others have changed just a little bit. But overall, every single class is going to be a more or less new experience. All the events are new. All the narrative has been rewritten, though the overall story is the same. So the long and short of it is everything is new.
Yeah, but that being said, it is important to say that, I mean, we're still kept this at Gloomhaven, right? We wanted to keep it simple. We wanted to keep it after Jaws. We'd still hope to be able to play Jaws before this rather than just going straight into this. I think Jaws is the best way to learn. But yeah, I mean, it's still, straightforward, kill all enemy scenarios, that sort of thing, just with, updated mechanics.
Awesome. There's a little bit of lag on my end, so that all sounds really good there. We just saw some cool art for the new Tinkerer, which is fantastic. BJ, can you share a little bit about that? I think that's one of your favorite pieces, right?
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite pieces. So there's a lot of things I love. I know notice people in the chat were talking about the cover still and how we now have like the Inox bodyguards instead of looking identical. We actually have a male and a female, and we did try to modernize things for that. So I really appreciate that people are noticing already in the cover. For the Quattrel that was up a minute ago, so this is a support character, and we fully understand that, but there is a disintegration beam in that character's arsenal that they use, and the artist Dat had this wonderful story about how he was playing, and one of his friends actually was sort of the hero of the scenario and saved them with that disintegration beam. So it was really important to him that he'd be able to put it in the art, and it just made the character look so cool and so awesome and made me want to play it that I fell in love with it, and it's probably my favorite of the characters. So I was really excited to see that come to life, both in the art and in the miniature. It's crazy, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really big gun.
I'm like, how's he even carrying that? I don't know.
Well, he's got the exosuit attached there.
That's right. It's all those tinkerer like things. Like he's a really cool steampunk, get it done type of guy there. Best support team ever.
Oh,
And there's his miniature. I don't know, like everybody can see the same thing at the same time I can, but I can see the miniature now. It's going to be so much fun for everybody to paint. These miniatures that we're doing, Chris Lewis and Sarah Dallinger are doing fantastic work on them, and all of the little bits and pieces that really make them unique and amazing, I think everyone is going to love.
Ross, you're muted.
Loud. Sorry, guys. On the mute now. Joys of a morning call, right? Oh, yeah, we're having a whole kind of all the art reveals there, right? So we saw some cool things there with the miniature. Isaac, what do you think so far with the with the miniatures for that we just showed for the Tinkerer?
I can't see them. I have not seen the Tinkerer miniature yet. I'm sorry. My internet is really not great right now, so like I can't see the stream or anything. Yeah, so sorry, I can't see the. But
well,
You're all
it's really
good.
cool, and I'm sure everyone's going to be excited. And to the people in the
all the
chat,
miniatures I've seen have been great, so I assume that it's great.
it looks a lot like the art, just so you know. The people in the chat are also asking like if they'll be better quality than they were before, and I can tell you hands down, these miniatures are fantastic. People will love
No
them.
more
They'll be
potato
happy
sack,
with them.
huh?
I assume that's a reference that I don't understand that the wonderful community does, but I know the current miniatures are wonderful. We've worked really hard on them. We have new production centers working on them. I think they're going to be really loved by everybody. I'm enjoying painting them, that's for sure.
How do the miniatures compare in terms of quality to the Frosthaven miniatures? Is it about the same then?
I think they're a little better myself, personally.
Awesome.
I mean, honestly, I think they're better than the last ones. I think our production person would probably be able to speak a little bit more strongly to that than I can.
Which we can line that up, right? So then we've got a look at the new Mind Thief art here going on. We're just teasing out a few of the starting characters here, right? So this art is fantastic. BJ, you want to share a little bit about that?
The Firmling?
Yeah.
So this is another of Dot's pieces. We just happened to get his art because he worked so hard to get it done on time. So we'll see a lot of his art today, and then other artists we'll see, in the future weeks. But this is just a reimagining of the original Firmling. We wanted to keep the respect and vibe where we could of the original artist, while also, punching it up a bit. The story behind this image is that she is currently using her mind powers to have these rats bring her tinkerings and bits and jewelry and things. She likes to collect shiny bits. It also has a miniature. I don't know if it's going to make it into the stream or not. There it is. So one of my favorite things about this miniature is a lot of times when you get miniatures, you just kind of have a flat, boring base. And one of the fantastic things about working at Cephalofair is I get to play around a little bit and make sure that we have fun things going on with the base too. So our fantastic sculptor, Chris Lewis, was able to bring that box into the base and put some little rats down there. And then of course she has her standard rat on her shoulder as well. That's her little friend. So I'm really proud of how that one turned out. I think the team is doing a great job, and we're lucky to have such wonderful artists.
And here we have a look at the character card. Dennis, Drew, you guys want to take a little pop in at that?
Yeah, I'd love to hear, like as deep as you want to go into like how
go for it.
The Mind Thief was redesigned and rebalanced.
Yeah, so, well, I never know. I mean, Price is somewhere right now holding his breath as I start to talk. But basically, yeah, I mean, the Mind Thief was actually my favorite starter in Gloomhaven 1. Gloomhaven First Edition, sorry. We just have the habit of calling it Gloomhaven 1. And it was really fun to play, but the central mechanic had a few issues, which was that basically, yeah, I mean, most of the time in most situations, it was best just to keep a single augment up, which was very effective. And so obviously the goal with the Mind Thief with these non-loss augments, which are basically persistent abilities that you can activate, can only have one up of a time, was that you were supposed to want to kind of switch between them in different situations depending on what you wanted to do. And so that was obviously the focus of the second edition version of the Mind Thief, was making sure that augments were something you wanted to switch through. And there were a couple of ways we did this. Obviously, one of them is just, by changing the power level of the relevant augments to make it so that they're a little bit more on an even playing field, but also by making it so that the abilities that are on the augment action are different, unique, and interesting to compel people to actually want to play that action, other than just for the augment, but to get to do something powerful in and of itself. So yeah, and now we, with the Frosthaven style, we can basically explain all the class rules on the mat itself and highlight any important things that people need to pay attention to or reminders people might need. So they have all this right in front of them when they play, which, as you can see with the mat here, we talk about augments, which is the My Thief central mechanic.
That's great. And Dennis, other thoughts too?
Yeah, just I guess a quick note, which is that, as Isaac said, our goal was to elevate the game sort of to the level of Frosthaven, but that does not mean increase the complexity to the level of Frosthaven's, right? It's a different game. It's meant to be a slightly, not lighter, but not as meaty experience. So we didn't go in and take every class and say, how can we make this more complicated? That was not the goal. So the Mind Thief should feel similarly complex to how it did before. The starters overall haven't really increased in complexity. There are some lock classes that are on the more complex side, but some of those already kind of were before. So overall, the complexity shouldn't have increased dramatically. And so similarly with Mind Thief, although you are now much more likely to switch augments in the middle of the scenario several times, it shouldn't feel drastically different.
That's great. And then Isaac, what are your thoughts so far on the Mind Thief and everything said?
Yeah, I mean, I play tested it a couple times, and yeah, it does feel a lot better. Yeah, being able to like switch through the augments instead of just focusing on one, and yeah, I mean, just like every character that Drew and Dennis have gone through and reworked. Yeah, it just feels a lot more balanced and a lot smoother and great.
That's awesome. I think we can pull up the. We want to take a look at the Tinkerer card next. I think we can make that happen.
This is also my first time seeing the art, and I do have to say it is kind of funny that any new players coming in are going to be told, "Hey, you're the support class," and then they're looking at that art. you're really making.
I have a fix for that, but it's a secret, so I can't tell you right now. We'll find out later.
Well, also that'll kind of help people, especially in smaller party sizes, to learn that, to understand right away that even as a support, they should still be dealing damage. So if anything, that's just like win-win in my book.
I think it's important that we always take our support characters seriously because sometimes they are the backbone of our campaigns.
Well, the Tinker is known for handing out status conditions, and Dead is the strongest status condition.
But so the Tinker, actually, Dennis, I'd like you to talk about this because you're actually the one who came up with the idea for the sort of the one mechanic we added here, because the Tinker didn't require as much work as the Mind Thief, right? Yeah,
so the goal with the Tinker was that we want to keep it low complexity, right? This is meant to be a starting character for a brand new player, not something that feels totally crazy to wrap your mind around. And I think the original vision of Gloomhaven 1 already handled that well, right? You have these sort of baseline abilities, stun a thing, heal someone, useful things that you're happy to use all the time, in addition to just a bunch of cool gadgets. And so to sort of make that cool gadget theme feel a little more visceral, we've added a new mechanic, which is that you can place gadgets on the map. So these are special tokens that you place on the map that can't be interacted with by enemies, or they don't occupy the hex or anything, so you can move through them, enemies can move through them, and so forth. But it gives you a very simple mechanic that lets you do some really neat stuff. So an example of that is you can place 2 teleport pads. So you place one teleporter on one side of the room, one teleporter on the other side of the room, and now you and your allies can teleport back and forth and mess with the monster AI to, avoid getting hit. So things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth mentioning that this isn't, as Dennis said, we're really not increasing complexity here. There's only a few instances of this, but it was like, Dennis was right, that we really wanted a way to feel the gadgetiness of the Tinkerer, which was the idea that we had before. And other than that, we really, again, just didn't change much. Just had to increase a few numbers here and there. And otherwise, it was already a great class. So, I mean, except for, the higher level cards.
Yeah, higher levels needed to be bumped up a bit.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Made it even cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a really big gun.
It is a really big gun, right? Right. It's
gonna
just
heal you
too
to death.
cool though. Like I'm just gonna hit it. It's just too cool though. I love it. But there'll be some other things. I think I'm excited that we can use this art and all of the new updates for the RPG. Obviously, that's my big excite about all of it. So.
And yeah, I mean, so a lot of this art is going to be kind of in a similar tone, right, BJ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there should be a lot of things that are useful in Gloomhaven 2.0 to make use of in the RPG as people get into playing it. The goal is never to have to make everybody buy a whole bunch of new stuff for the RPG, but to be able to, mix getting the RPG along with all of the components in the box, which is, Isaac's goal all along.
Right, and which totally makes sense. So as we see more of this, I think it's kind of fun to go and take a look at what's happening in the campaign and scenario wise. So we've had a lot of plans with that. So what are some of the things we're going to see going on with the campaign that are different than what people are used to?
Yeah, we have some new mechanics. Again, the goal wasn't to add on a 30-minute layer of town management, like a bigger thing, but the vision of Gloomhaven, I think more so even than Frosthaven or Jaws, is that it's a very sandboxy campaign, right? You kind of you're just some people in this world, you see a situation, you get invited to do a quest, and you can go into a lot of different directions from there. And so where Frosthaven has a sort of semi-linear storyline or linear storylines that combine, this is meant to be a little more open-ended. And so in that vein, we've updated the way reputation works. So instead of just having a single reputation track that goes up and down, you have 3 reputation tracks, one for each faction that is vying over control of the city of Gloomhaven. So you could be helping the demons, you could be helping the merchants, or you could be helping the military, or a little bit of everyone, or, you can piss everyone off, or you can try to make friends with everyone. There's a lot of different options there. And so it was important to us that feels more rewarding than it did in the original Gloomhaven. That option was kind of there, but the game didn't really push you to do that. It was pretty uncommon for someone doing their first campaign to decide to let the demons overrun Gloomhaven in Gloomhaven First Edition. So this time around, we want to make sure that all the options are equally viable. Morals aside, mechanically speaking, all the options are equally viable. So yeah, you have this new faction reputation system, which gives you rewards based on what faction you're helping. You can get unique items from that faction. You can get some discounts on things, many other things. So this that open-endedness of working with the different factions feels a little bit more realized in Gloomhaven 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just. I mean, that basically encapsulated everything. I mean, that's the main hook for the new campaign. I mean, otherwise, yeah, the other things are just kind of small things. Well, the big thing obviously is just the events as well, which is a big part of the campaign. Have been completely reworked like they were in Frosthaven by the Satire Group, and yeah, they're amazing this time around. They really are. As I had to implement them all for playtesting, I read them all and really had a good time. And then, yeah, I mean, just a few different parts of the campaign that were a little bit lacking. Well, they weren't the strongest before, like the climax, certainly, which, just had the one single fight. We've kind of fleshed that out a little bit more to make it a more significant moment in this final battle. And yeah, so otherwise, we've also, looked at some of the parts of the campaign originally that, maybe weren't as... Well, something like Enoch's Encampment, for example, which was maybe not super well handled, and some things like that will just be a little bit more of a soft touch and a little bit more transparent in what you're doing this time around. Because again, that's really the big thing that Dennis touched on, which is we really wanted to emphasize agency. Because if you give people a sandbox, you want them to be able to feel like they actually have all these choices that they can make and feel the consequences of them, but also understand their choices.
There's also a new optional difficulty mechanic. So there's a purely optional system that you can engage in that further increases the difficulty beyond just the regular scenario level scaling. So that's a whole new thing. There's also a new condition. So a couple little bits and bobs, but overall mostly rebalanced and reworked what was already there.
That's awesome. And I think with the campaign, the best way to show that off is where everything goes as you travel. So I think we have the new map to show off too. Let's see if we can get that to be shared as well.
Awesome.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Here we go. Oh, and it's up.
It's exciting. So this map is Francesca's, the same artist who did the Frosthaven map and a ton of maps all over the industry. She's incredibly talented, very patient and understanding, and we are always excited to work with her. She's always a joy to work with. I can't say enough good things about her. And she has produced what I think is a phenomenal map for this game. It's very pretty. I think it'll make a great collectible.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It's even cooler with all the stickers on it.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's where
Will be.
right? So,
We got you the map. I couldn't, like, stickers aren't done.
yeah, well, I mean, there's
Probably do
and that, right, and that's part of it too, right? Is so like there's been some questions in the chat. When is this coming out? When are we doing these things? And all of this is going to be coming to the campaign. We're going to be launching on June 20th. So make sure you can be a part of that. So the campaign so far, we have announced the Gloomhaven RPG. We have announced the Mentors of Gloomhaven, and being added to that campaign is going to be this Gloomhaven second edition. So this is going to be a immense, massive campaign, which you guys will all be a part of. And so part of that is going to be this right there, which is going to be pretty fun. Also, we are doing this on Backer Kit. So of course, right now, as you may be seeing it, you can go live on the Backer Kit launch party page and be a part of the chat. We have polls and questions that you can join in on. We're going to be adding more as we gear up to the road to the launch of our grand festival. So be sure to be a part of this big thing. Isaac, what are your thoughts so far on the map reveal and everything there?
I mean, yeah, the map is just stunning, and yeah, I'm just really excited about all the improvements. I mean, even just like small quality of life stuff. Like we made sure to not put any stickers on the two center lines where it folds, so you're not going to have any half stickers anymore. Just a bunch of small stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Well, one of the things that I think is cool to notice, and I don't know that we can see it here, but there are little characters at the bottom of the map on the right-hand side, and it's sort of the original team. And you can see that while it does have some of the noticeable updates for the new characters, it also still maintains that sort of callback to the original Gloomhaven era. So it becomes a blend of the two artists' visions for the Gloomhaven world.
Also, from a purely practical standpoint, I'll say one thing that I noticed about the map that I really appreciate is that specifically like the mountain areas are more clearly delineated than they were in the Gloomhaven 1 map, right? Because in the Gloomhaven 1 map, for some stickers, you had to guess, oh, is this scenario in the mountains or not? Because it was kind of, the mountains were just like things like this. And there was a personal quest where that mattered, and there still is. So yeah, I think that's really cool to actually like see the mountains fully because of the color this time.
Yeah, I think that it's just a stunning map. This will be wonderful, and we have more exciting things coming from her as well in the future. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Awesome! Oh my gosh, I'm just jazzed that we have finally announced this at this point. Like everything is kind of getting out there now. It's been really cool reading all the chat so far. I'm sure today is going to be a very exciting day for that as well. And what else do we have to show off here, right? So we've talked a little bit about the campaign and some of the character things. So for people that have already played Gloomhaven 1 and really dove deep, played it multiple times, do everything there, what's going to be fun about Gloomhaven 2? What should they be looking forward to in this second edition of Gloomhaven? I mean, we've kind of covered on a little bit, but people are going, hey, if I've already played Gloomhaven 1, why should I pick up Gloomhaven 2? I know we're excited about it, but Drew, Dennis, Isaac, what are some thoughts you want to share on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. So
Yeah.
first of all, we talked about some new mechanics. There are also 10-ish new scenarios, 30-ish new items. All the items got rebalanced. All the classes got rebalanced. So I would say that something like 5 to 8 of the classes should honestly feel more or less like a new class. Same theme, but a new class, right? Just plays differently. There's major changes, and therefore it feels really like a new experience. Whereas the other half are kind of more like updates, but substantial updates. Then in addition to all the new stuff, there's also just a lot of changes, I think, that make a big difference, right? So if you have all new events and all these things, it really feels like a new campaign, just, with the new scenarios mixed in, the way the mechanics have changed. I think the way our playtesters saw it, it felt like a very new experience. So I think there's a lot for them to love.
Yeah, there's a quote that stuck with me from one of the playtesters who said that right as they were getting Frosthaven, they weren't sure if they were more excited to play Frosthaven or Gloomhaven 2. And yeah, that meant a lot to me. Obviously, this was someone who's played a lot of Gloomhaven 1. So yeah, I think that I mean, until you've actually seen what's under the hood, it's difficult to grasp the extent to which things have changed. But also, again, like I said, while keeping the core of everything similar, there's, this is a bit of a spoiler, so I can't actually say it, but there was another thing that I remember from working on this project, which was there was one of the classes that Isaac played for the first time after we'd reworked on it. And after he played it, we're like, all right, what did you think? Because we made a fair amount of changes on this class. And he said it feels more like the name of the class now than it did before. So the goal was really to keep the ideas of everything the same, but also to make something that plays a lot different than before in many cases.
Yeah.
Isaac?
I'm excited for new tile. Like, I think the new tile art is going to be
yeah,
fun.
not sure what I have to add. I mean, there's some commentary in the chat. Yeah, I think it'd be good to answer questions from them at some point. But yeah, I mean, the concept that, like, I don't know, that the original version of Gloomhaven is now worthless is a little silly. I mean, like, it's still a game that you can play, and it's still as great as it ever was. So yeah, I mean, if you don't want to go out and buy this new version and you have the original version, like, just keep playing that. It's still going to give you a great experience, and I mean, this isn't coming out for at least a year, and so, like, yeah, if you've got Gloomhaven 1.0 in front of you, I'd say just keep playing that and have fun with it.
That's great. I mean, that's one of the things that it's kind of fun about Gloomhaven in general, right? Is like it's been such a good game, built a huge world. So being able to play that is still, nothing's going to be taken away from that, right? And now we're going to be able to kind of enjoy this new remastered version of that as we go into all these different things. So there have been some questions saying, is this going to be like for the RPG, is this usable for all of that? And so one of the things that I think is really cool is essentially everything you need to play the RPG, from the tiles, the components, and so on, is going to be available in this 2.0. BJ, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, that's one of the fantastic things. And honestly, like Isaac was saying, when you're using 2.0, you're using 1.0, both of those could be used for the RPG. You don't need to use the updated, prettier tiles for your RPG game. It looks cooler. I'm excited to use them, but you can absolutely use the classic Gloomhaven tiles that we have, and it'll work just the same. Yeah, all the parts from the game are going to be usable in the RPG if you have them. And also, you can play the RPG without it. You can play the RPG with a piece of paper and a hand-drawn hex grid. Like, those are the things that are nice about RPGs. I think most people will want to use the tiles, of course, but certainly it's all usable. I think that one of the exciting things about this upcoming backer kit campaign is that we're going to have all those miniatures. So not only do we get updated art, and we have updated tiles, and we have updated character miniatures, mercenary miniatures in the box, obviously, but we're going to have the ability to purchase all of these miniatures that we're coming out with in the backer kit. So you'll be able to have your monsters and, well, bad guys, whatever you want to call them, for your game, and have it all on the table. And I think it's just going to look amazing with the new art and the new miniatures there.
Awesome. I realized I was typing away on my mic. It's very loud, so I apologize for that. We're going to be working more on that. So on a fun note that I want to bring up, right? So I know we're streaming now, so it's kind of our first big launch party. Get ready for a lot more. So we're going to be launching our campaign on June 20th, which is going to be including the RPG, the miniatures line, Gloomhaven 2nd edition, and we're going to be having a whole thing with Gloomhaven TV. So we're going to be live streaming and sharing recorded content every day. You're going to hear a lot more from all the faces up here, and more of our teams and partners as we start to preview more and share more about mechanics and story and campaigns and art and miniatures and everything else. We have a lot of cool stuff lined up, which is going to be really exciting as we kind of share more of that too. So I know there's some questions in the chat here, so I think we can pull some of these off as well as we're looking around. I think some of the questions have been where I just want to address some of the ones there. Are we going to have STL versions of the miniatures available? And
No.
that is a no, right? So yeah, right. So we're going to have all these miniatures. Yeah. So we're going to be doing miniature boxes. we really want to make sure that we can get everything direct from us, which will be super cool. And then there has been what is it about the furniture stuff? I don't know.
I've been keeping my mouth
know.
shut. There's a lot of people that want to see furniture printed, so you can put it on the tiles. I have to say that myself personally, I love printing furniture on our 3D printer to use for these kind of campaigns. But I don't think we have plans to do anything like that at this time. Maybe in the future. Maybe I'll convince Isaac to let me do something like that. But right now we have so much going on with all this exciting 2.0 updates and the miniatures and other stuff coming out. There's no room to make furniture too. One day, maybe. Not today.
That's so what's the best thing about Gloomhaven second edition then, right? Here we go. So awesome. As we head more, Isaac, how are you feeling so far about the announcement? You excited to share more about Gloomhaven? Just in general, we've got so much going on here, right? So
yeah, I mean, I just want to apologize. Like, if I'm low energy, it's just because like my internet is completely crapping out and I can't hear half the people talking. So like, I'm super excited about this. It's just it's a weird situation going on right now. But anyway, yeah, I can't wait for the launch of this campaign, and yeah, for everybody to see more about what we got cooking, and see more artwork, and get all their questions answered about like price points and delivery dates and all that stuff. Will be that'll all be upfront when we launch the project in 19 days.
It's so close.
Is it really that close? Oh my gosh. Man. So Drew, Dennis, how you guys feeling?
Good. Yeah, excited.
Great.
I mean,
if you let us, we'll talk about Gloomhaven 2 for hours.
Yeah. We know
it's
that you
gonna
have
happen. It's gonna happen.
a timeline set for us here today, so I'm like trying to not overtalk. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we've been working on this for quite some time, and it's really exciting to finally get to share it and finally let people know. Finally tell people this is why I haven't been writing guides all along. I've been too busy.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody appreciates your hard work though, because it's really paid off.
Thanks.
Yeah, there are a lot of folk that are working really hard to make this happen, and so we're just getting to the first part of this now, so it's gonna be interesting kind of seeing all of that. For everybody who's watching this video now or watching it later, we're gonna have a lot more articles to read, previews to do, AMAs, videos, everything else. So it's going to be a whole celebration of Gloomhaven as we get to the 20th, and then from there it's going to be 30 days of videos and playthroughs and everything else. So I'm sure it's going to be good times all around. But before we wrap up the stream here, I want to make sure that we can bring on our friends at BackerKit and kind of share a little bit about how that campaign is going to work and do everything there. So we're going to have them get ready for the back end there, and we're going to say goodbye to BJ, Drew, and Dennis for now, and then we'll have more stuff coming on. So thank you all for joining on that part.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll have more coming soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Much. Take care.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, Isaac, as we bring them on, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm functioning over here, and I can hear you well, which is good because I can talk to you. I felt bad. I was just hearing like lots of silence as Dennis and BJ were talking, so I was getting nervous. Anyway, excited to bring on the team from BackerKit. Also, like, yeah, I don't know if we can answer any more questions in the chat in the meantime. I know there's a lot of questions about Gloomhaven Digital. That's really up to Twin Sales. I mean, we notified them that we were doing this a while ago, and I don't think they've decided what their position is yet on whether they're going to be updating Gloomhaven Digital. It's like a bunch of work for them because this is such a big change, and so I'm not sure it's going to be cost effective for them to do that. Just as the board game is not invalidated, like the digital game will not be invalidated either. Like it's still a great implementation of Gloomhaven, and you should go check it out, even if it isn't going to line up necessarily with Gloomhaven second edition once that's released.
Yeah, and they're going to be coming on our stream as well. Not today, but during Gloomhaven TV. So that'll be a good chance to ask them all of the questions we've got for Gloomhaven Digital. I know I've been reading all kinds of stuff over the last couple of days, and now we're excited to bring on our team from BackerKit. Oh my gosh, how you guys doing? We've got Dan and Anya here. Feel free to introduce yourselves and what you do at BackerKit.
Hi, how are you guys doing? This is a very exciting day for everybody.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Well, first of all, Ross, you're doing an amazing job. Hosting is really difficult and the pace is great. The timing is great. Everything's fantastic. So I hope everybody is giving you the accolades that you absolutely deserve as the host of this very exciting announcement.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy to do it, and I'm sure everyone's going to get tired of seeing my face at the end of July. So
I totally doubt that. I'll be honest with you.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, so cool. So I'm Anya. This is Dan. We are here from BackerKit. We're super excited to be here and chatting with you all today. Just to start it off, I guess, really quickly, if that's cool with you all, especially you, Dan, looking at you, making sure we're aligned here. So I'm Anya. I work on the tabletop team here at BackerKit. I've known the Cephalofair team for a couple of years now, so I'm really excited to continue watching their success over at BackerKit. June 20th is the day that they are launching. That is a date that you will hear forever from this team for the next, well, I guess for the next 19 days, 20 days leading up to the launch. We're super, 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 super excited to have this project on BackerKit. We launched this platform, this crowdfunding platform, almost a year ago. Dan is the person who will be speaking to that. I am just here as the big old games nerd. But we're really excited to have the continuation of Frosthaven and Gloomhaven and in this new iteration with all of this new incredible work coming. We are also very excited to be speaking with more creators, to have more creators on the platform. So if you are a games creator, if you're a creator of any size, shape, anything that is creative, we want to be speaking with you. You could be in the same world as all of our wonderful Cephalofair team for anything that's on BackerKit. Dan, do you want to chat a little bit about the platform?
Yeah, sure. Let me just grab a link and put it in the chat for everyone. But yeah, if anyone hasn't checked it out, you should check out kind of this party page that we have. And I mean, this is one of kind of the core things that we're thinking a lot about at BackerKit is making sure there's a lot of really exciting things for backers and creators to engage with each other. Certainly, like leading up to a campaign is a very big moment. So giving new tools to creators and new ways for backers to interact and kind of see some streams, start having discussions, voting in polls. And this page that I sent is going to be the page that the project is on. It'll just sort of magically transition when it launches. So, you know, we've been kind of hard at work trying to think about how we can make these project launches like really big. But yeah, I want to just pull back and say thanks to the Cephalofair team. I think like we're really trying to build this platform together. I think that's a big thing for us is making sure that we're working hand in hand with creators to like do something that benefits the community at large. Again, if you go to that link, you can start logging in, signing up, which will help you get ready to pledge when the project goes live. And yeah, I'm excited for y'all to see the fun stuff that comes leading up to the campaign and during the campaign and all the cool interaction points. We might be working on like getting a little reward if you start interacting before the project launches. So participate in some of those polls, vote on some things. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover. Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, since this is sort of a new platform, feel free to just shoot an email to me, product@backerkit.com. We'll get forwarded and excited to just see everyone see everything we've been working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a creator that's interested in launching on the platform, feel free to email me, Anya@backerkit.com. Sorry, Ross, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're all good. I mean, it's one of these things where it's like it's been from all the years I've worked in crowdfunding with across publishers and time essentially, right? Like it's really neat to be a part of this campaign. We have a lot of stuff that's going into work, so people that are used to crowdfunding obviously will know how crowdfunding works and everything there, but there's going to be some changes and some upgrades and cool ways to engage with the campaign. Of course, right now we have the launch party page up. So we're going to have polls in forums and things you can be a part of. So if you need to or want to find out what we have going on and some teasers and things like that, you can be a part of that, which is going to be cool. And of course, that'll notify you when the campaign goes live and everything else. So I'm really jazzed for that. And of course, we'll share more about all the pledge levels and all the different add-ons and other little things you can back to be a part of with that, because there's going to be some, just a couple of things in this campaign. So we want to make sure it's going to be clear and everybody can, find out what they want to get, whether it's the RPG, the miniatures, the board game, or all the other little accessories and add-ons and partner products. So we're really excited to do this. And so I'm glad we can have you guys on to share about that. It's going to be good times all around. Isaac, how you doing? Are you excited to be a part of the Backer stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Like working with Backer Kits to get this project launched has just been just a very pleasant experience. They've done everything they can to make this the biggest launch, hopefully, that crowdfunding has ever seen. And it's just that the tools that we have at our disposal are just like first class. And we're beginning to see all that now with the new launch page and everything that will be happening. I couldn't be happier.
We're so
That's
happy.
great.
Isaac. That's awesome.
Awesome. And I think that's, I think with everything we've covered there, I think we've come to the end of this first launch party live stream, right? I know there's a lot of questions we've got in the chats and everything there. And so one of the best things you can do is just be a part of the conversation. We're going to have things going on in the launch party. Of course, we're going to be on Board Game Geek. We're going to be on Reddit. We're going to be in a few of our Facebook groups. We're going to be all active over social media. So we know it's 19 days until the campaign gets going, and we've just opened the door as we get ready leading to this giant Cephalofair festival. So I'm really excited to share off more. We've been working on a lot of really cool things. We've got a lot of cool channels lined up for live streams and gameplays and conversations. And I know there's everybody wanting to know all these little questions about Gloomhaven for the RPG and for second edition. And we can't wait to share more. So we wanted to keep it kind of tight with this stream here, but there's going to be so much more to go on. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all for joining on the stream. And Isaac, is there anything you want to wrap us up with?
So I believe a new BGG page is launching for this product for Gloomhaven second edition. If you have any questions that you feel were not answered, you could also go there and post questions on BGG, and we will try to get everything answered that we can for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think with that, should we wrap it up, Isaac? Is that the end for our first live stream out?
I guess so. Yeah, hopefully the next one will go better, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I think this it was a good time.
And on that, I'm glad you could make it, Isaac. I know you had a bit with some external things happening, and so you're here.
Yeah, the power went out on like the entire Monterey Peninsula, and so I had to like drive to a hotel, and the internet at this hotel isn't very great. But yeah, so next stream ideally will be happening at home with my solid internet, and everything will be great.
That sounds awesome. Cool. And we'll have so much more to share, and I'm excited for it. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and it's going to be a good time. And welcome to the Gloomhaven Grand Festival, and we're excited to share off more. See you soon.